Up Facebook, YouTube, Fancy Princess, SoundCloud, SoundClick, uh, Snapchat, and every other social media out there that watches my videos. I have had an upswing of followers on my YouTube channel, about 35 people within the last 28 days. I appreciate that. I must be talking about something interesting. So, yeah, today's topic is who is and who isn't American. And I'm asking this question because Donald Trump is probably going to be our president. His momentum is just it's just way too much. He has too much velocity towards the white populace, and he is doing what Obama did when Obama came out. Obama had people vote that usually didn't vote. He had black people come out and vote who usually didn't vote. And the reason why that was because we were discouraged because of what the way Bush took office. He pretty much stole office. It was a bunch of lies so they can, corrupt the banking system, take over the world financial system, crash the financial system basically, and then make all this money through AIG after the whole towers came down, building number 7, and all that other stuff. So Halliburton or whatever, and Dick Cheney, BP oil, and all the other stuff, that criminal stuff that those super rich people did. Nonetheless, so then when Obama came in, there was this upswing of hope, and he gave a lot of people hope, and he did a lot of good things. So he had his issues too, but all in all, he was a good president. You know what I mean? All the way around, he was a good president to black and to white people, to Hispanics. I mean, to all nations, he was a good dude. He went out and he tried to, demilitarize, because he knew that if one of us pushed the button, is the world, the populated world as we know it, is going to go up, and it's just not necessary. So he's a good president to me instead of, pushing the war. Nonetheless, he didn't end the war like he said he would. He said him and Hillary went at it about how fast they can bring, everybody home from the war. And it just isn't going to happen because they need the money. So America are war profiteers. So, and Hillary is a big, big war profiteer and a big windfall profiteer, her and her husband. So that leads us to Donald Trump, which is the knee jerk reaction from black people not voting because of the Bush administration. Uh, because basically, when the Bush administration told black people if you had an outstanding bill, which everybody does, that you cannot vote, so they pretty much went to the southern part of the country, the Carolinas and whatnot, and pretty much discouraged a whole bunch of black people from not voting. And Bush actually did do this. And then they came. The reverse reaction from that is they came out to vote for Obama, which a lot of African American black people, so on and so forth, minorities, came out and vote for Obama. But when that happened, of course, you had a lot of white people vote for him too. But now the opposite is happening. You have you have a larger amount of white people who usually don't vote come out and vote. Now, the question when I say are you American, because according to not according to the government of are you American, like are you an American citizen, but it's now are you American is according to the belief system of the so-called Americans and or popular white people. And when I say popular, I mean popular as in the white people who are turning up at these rallies, not the white people who are protesting against Donald Trump, because they already know that they're American. But see, the people who are showing up at the Donald Trump rallies and yelling all these obscenities and whatnot and telling black people, go back to Africa, you're African American first. One guy said, go back to Africa. It's like, and then they're saying, get out of our country. See, they believe that they are true Americans. They believe that America is white, which is a total fallacy, total misconception, and a complete lie in every sense of the word, except for what you believe. Now, Donald Trump has reinforced this in so many ways, and one of the ways is when the older guy punched the black guy at the rally, and well, he hit him with an elbow. Now he hit him in the mouth, and the black guy didn't see it coming, meaning he had no ought with the man that hit him, and he snuck him. He waited till he walked by, boom, he hit him in the face. And then they arrested the black guy after he got hit. And then it turned around, and once they saw it on video, the older gentleman was arrested for assault. And then, but before he was arrested, they videoed him and said, "Did you like the rally?" And he said, "Yeah." They said, "What'd you like about it?" He said, "Punching that big mouth, that guy in his big mouth." And he said, "The next time we see him, we have to kill him." Now, Donald Trump's reaction to this wasn't, we don't need to have fights. We need to get along, yada yada yada. What he did was he said, I'm going to go and pay for that guy's legal fees. And he's like, why are you going to? He said, because he's upset. He's an American and he's upset. So, the belief system of Donald Trump. Okay, let's get deeper into that. For one, we can bring up all the facts about Donald Trump's lying, about Donald Trump's misgivings, deceiving people. It's not going to matter. Because Donald Trump's platform is, we can make America great again. That's all that matters to white people. See, they think that, okay, if you go back a couple months ago, there was a guy who was talking about terrorism on CNN or whatever it was, and the reporters were addressing him, and they were talking about the way President Obama did not go after, certain people. And the guy said the president's a pussy. He said that Obama's a pussy. And the reporter stopped him and they said, hey, you just said some things about our president you can't say on here. And he was like, okay, well, I'm sorry, but the president, he doesn't do this, that, and the third. See, when it comes to making America great again, we're talking about the superpower of America. See, Obama did not want to go and fight everybody. However, he did keep the war machine going. He just didn't go out and just cause a bunch of new fights. He isn't, that wasn't what his platform was about. His platform was about helping the minorities and bringing the minorities, and not just African Americans. We're talking about minorities, financial. There's all kind of minorities for one. There's financial minorities, there's financial majorities, there's color minorities, color majorities, so on and so forth. But he was all about leveraging the playing field. He was like, if you have terrible health care, let's get you better health care. Let's get you more jobs out there. He created a whole slew of jobs. Let's lower the gas prices back down to what it was in 1990, 185. Bush had the gas prices up to almost $5. Actually, I think it hit $5 at once. He's a terrible president. But nonetheless, so the platform that Donald Trump is running on is adverse to what we've just went through for the last 8 years. Let's make America great again. He's talking about going to war. He's talking about being a superpower. All the rhetoric that he has against Latinos, against people migrating to this country, like I said before, we're talking Asians, we're talking Indians, we're talking the Africans, we're talking Serbians or whoever that was they just went through, they're in a civil war and they're trying to come over here. Greece is in a civil war. Their whole financial system has collapsed on them. So you have a bunch of them who are living in tents out in the freezing cold, and then you have a lot of those people migrating to this country. He's like, heck no. I'm putting a stop to all of you people coming in the country. This is what he means by let's make America great again. Now, Obama was adverse to that. He was like, hey, come on into the country. And you had just one race, just 250,000 people of just that one race was trying to come into the country. Donald's like, hell no, you can't come into our country. He's like, nope. He's talking about the Latinos. He's like, I'm done with them coming into our country. When he called them rapists and murderers, it's just like that was so retarded to say that because every single race has somebody who done raped and murdered. That's just the way it is. Every single race done committed those two crimes. So you can't just say this particular race does this and this is why we don't want you here. You know, they're quite industrious. Matter of fact, I mean, they sell oranges on the side of a highway. What other, what other race does that? You ain't never seen black people selling orange. Not in this country, but in other countries, black people do that. But you don't usually see white people. You don't see white people doing that. It's too dignified. You know, hell no, I ain't doing that. However, um, the Latinos have, or the Hispanic speaking Americans, they have no problem with that. They hustle, they get their money. And I'm with that. I'm like, get your money, homie. I'll take a half a dozen of those. That's what I'm saying. But Donald Trump is against all of this. So, it's going to come. Okay, remember back in the 60s when the blacks had a certain bathroom they could use and the whites had a certain bathroom they can use? This is what's going to happen again, but it's going to be you're already seeing it. They're kicking black people out of the rallies. They kicked a whole bunch of black students out of the rally. You don't belong here because you're not American. They're doing this constantly, except when they went to Chicago, the black people showed up just like what's good? You not coming here to for your hate speech and you're not recognizing David Duke as a person who hung black people. You're not running up in here. So like this is what's really going to be bad. You're going to have this separation that's being galvanized as we speak on a daily basis. You're going to have that same separation, and it's going to be so visceral and so visible that it's just going to be a it's going to be the caveat for a lot of dead people, and that's just the truth. The like black people are so fed up with the nonsense because I keep saying this, we're not the white people's enemy. We don't go around hanging white people. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't find that on a mass scale, but white people hate black people for no other reason than they're black. That's it. Listen, when you get black people that hate white people, they hate them because of something they done to them. White people just hate you because you're black. That's it. And I'm talking about the supremacists. I'm talking about those. I'm not just talking about average white people. They just hate you because you look different. And like I said before, the Indians don't like the black people, but they don't hate us. Like I'm talking about people from India. They don't hate us. They don't go out of their way to kill us. You find skirmishes when they're living in the same area, but we know they don't like us. You own a corner store. We go into your corner store. You show you hate us. Boom, somebody's going to steal out of your corner store. They're doing it because you act like you hate us. Okay, fine. They're going to cause you issues because you live in the same place you work in the same place we live, but you don't give a damn about us. You don't contribute to the community. Mr. Indian from India, you talk in another language when you're talking to us. We know you're talking bad about us. Get out of here with that. The Asians, the Asians don't really like black people, but the Asians tolerate us. They don't hate black people. They just don't. You don't have cases where the Asians are killing black people. You just don't have that. And I'm gonna tell you one reason for that, because the Asians are very closely related to us because a lot of people who came out of Jerusalem, not the Jewish, not the Russian converts, the actual Jews, the Jews were actually black people that came out of Asia. Jerusalem is in Asia. And when they were invaded in 70 AD, they fled into Africa. They crossed the Red Sea. Now, if you look at the Bible, it tells you how Moses actually had to cross the Red Sea, which means they went back. So and also the Caucasus Mountains is on the line of the Red Seas where the white people came from. So all those groups were right there. So there's just a lot of information on that. But it's, are you American? Because black people are not going to be identified as American. I'm telling you. And all this stuff about Donald Trump and these preachers and all this, I'm telling you now, Donald Trump's words are going to be solidified into action of white supremacy. And that's what he represents. He's just playing the game until he's in office. But he is a white supremacist if I ever seen one. And I'm just letting you guys know. Be ready. I'll say it and I'll say it again. Get out of America. If you can, get out of America. And I'm really looking at going to Africa. I'm just saying, you know, black people, according to Donald Trump, you're not American. It's your boy Tone 202. I'm out.